none, I need a motion to approve the March minutes.
Make a motion.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, citizen remarks. Please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Nadine Shapiro-Freed. I live at 620 Overlook Drive. I've been a resident of the borough since the beginning of 1992. I wanted to take a few moments to thank the borough manager and the council for the recent activities, the recent improvements, how nice the building looks outside, how, thank goodness, that tree ready to drop is gone. And just take a moment to recognize everything that's been going on. Since I've been a borough resident, really never was involved in anything because there wasn't any movie nights, any walks, anything going on as far as organized activities outside of the fire company. And I wanted to let you know as a resident, it doesn't go unnoticed with all of the nice activities that have been going on. I have seen some social media posts that are counterproductive to that positivity, and I hope at some point the Borough Council is able to address that cancer that tries to undermine all of what you're doing. But as a borough resident, thank you very much for everything that has been positive over the last couple of years with all the new events and the upgrades.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
May I speak, Mr. President? Gotta give a lot of credit to Samantha Smith. She's the one basically behind organizing most of this stuff. Not all, but I would say, what, 99% of it? And she's the one that organizes all this stuff.
Correct.
So her name's Samantha.
Yep, I've worked with some things on her, but under the leadership of the Borough Council, the Borough Manager, I did want you all to know that it
Thank
is
you.
very appreciated as a resident.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other,
Yes.
comments?
Corey Andrews, 420 Railroad Street, Headers. I'd like to voice my opinion against taking over the ball field down here under the Goldsboro Athletic Association. Being as it's not in Goldsboro, I cannot see us spending any more money than we have to on something that doesn't even belong to us. And the other thing is the expense that Mr. Combs has incurred to the borough for legal fees between him and Mr. Hurt. They've spent quite a bit of money in legal fees for really no gain. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, hearing none. Police report. Chief Lutz.
Good evening. For the month of March, we handled 44 incidents in the borough. We had no Part 1 offenses. We had 3 Part 2 offenses. We issued 2 non-traffic citations. We had 1 traffic accident. We issued 1 traffic citation, 4 traffic warnings, and the other incidents were abandoned vehicles, special detail, disturbance, EMS call, fire call, hit and run, suspicious vehicle theft, trespass, traffic stops, and welfare checks. That's all I have with the report. I just urge that you tell your constituents to keep locking their vehicles, because now's the time of year where it's getting warmer, people like to go out and run around, pulling doorknobs and take things out of other people's vehicles. My other thing was there any questions regarding that email that I had sent to the mayor and to you, Mr.
report, it shows for 16 hours on patrol down here.
Okay.
Some of the other,
If it was a directed patrol, like you guys requested something, then we will actually assign people on a directed patrol. If you actually request something to be done on a specific time, a specific day, or something like maybe Halloween, we'll direct them, and we'll actually account for that. But as far as patrol time for us driving through the borough or patrolling the borough on any given day, it doesn't account for that. We can do that in the future if that's what you guys want.
well, no, I guess what I'm saying is one specific set time on a day is showing 16 hours on a foot patrol. So is that split between multiple officers?
Yeah, it could be.
Okay,
It goes off incident numbers.
okay.
So if there's something that's actually going on, and we have something, a special detail or something that we need to sit down here or whatever,
Okay.
it could do that.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the, police report.
Make a motion.
Second. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Thank you.
Chief Smith with the fire department report.
For the month of March, we had 18 calls, 6 structures, 1 investigation, 1 automatic alarm, 1 tree down, 1 vehicle fire, 1 EDA with injuries, 1 medical, 5 fire, police, 1 carbon monoxide. We have 1 training detail, 1 work detail. We just had our coach bingo over at the Fireman's Club, complete success. We expect the UTV in within the week, training to proceed, or to follow. That's all I have.
Okay. Need a motion to accept the fire.
Okay, we got 2 things, you have the flag square,
Yes.
if you can get that to me,
Sure.
and I need paperwork for the, you and,
Do you want to correct the copy? Because that can be stricken with an initial.
the one for your tax number.
Yeah, I did that too already.
Yeah, you know, I mean, your,
Oh, you need the actual,
yeah, give me the,
now does the borough have paperwork for that? Because township set up their own set of paperwork.
okay, no, we don't have anything for it.
Okay,
All I need is you show me what they did and everything. There was just 2 of them, so it can't be that much. And I just need bad numbers and everything, so I really wish.
do you want a full breakdown of what was done? Photocopies of all?
County says we need that we need to have, so.
I can provide that.
That's all we need.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
All right. Any, what was that? Any comments on, the fire report? Okay, I need a motion to accept the fire report.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second? All those in favor? Opposed? All right. Mayor's report.
Borough cleanup's been set for 4/27/24, 8 o'clock in the morning. Should be about 2 hours.
On that, one, do you need vests and gloves?
No, I have that covered. I have that taken care of.
Okay, those are down there in the total.
Nope, I got that taken care of. And that's 8 o'clock, and that's for the borough portion, and then Shelley's will be taken care of by the firefighters that reside up in Shelley's. The employee handbook, I wanted to make a correction to last month's meeting. It was stated, I think by yourself, Charlie, that you had made some phone calls to several boroughs.
No, I didn't. Cat called it,
Okay.
couple areas.
Okay. There are borough employee handbooks. I spoke to Hanover, I spoke to Home. They do have employee borough handbooks. Again, I'm gonna stress this, I think it would behoove us, even if it's part-time, labeled part-time or full-time, that we move forward with at least an abbreviated borough employee handbook. To follow, that's all.
That's something you guys gotta decide.
I think we should call an executive session for that, so we can all get together and figure something out.
It'd be a work session.
Or a work session, the only thing we need to do.
And I'm putting this out there, it doesn't have to be 50 pages, it doesn't have to be 10 pages, 3 pages, 5 pages, abbreviated guidelines for the employees, part-time and full-time. Even part-time, you go anywhere part-time, you're given rules and responsibilities as a part-time employee, no matter where you go. I think it would be hopeless, that's all. The generator, where do we stand with the generator? that running?
Every Saturday.
Has that been spun?
Is that from what?
Spun?
No, I have no idea where he came up with it was up backwards. No idea. On his comment on Facebook.
Well, no, because that was in last year's meeting that was addressed.
Generator since the day it was set there. has been-
Well, I understand, I'm just going based off of the last meeting that was held last year regarding the generator, stating that the exhaust was facing the direction of its underground tanks.
That's the way the company made the generator, because it was a year after we bought it.
Okay.
It was a whole new model, so they had to come back and redo.
Okay.
May I make a comment?
We had a concrete setup.
Mr. President, can I make a comment? I was out there looking at that generator. The exhaust, it looks like the exhaust is on top of the generator. It's not off to the side.
It's inside. You have to see it.
I just want to understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's where it's exiting at.
What's the time for that to start on Saturdays, to run the test?
I think it's 9,
Okay.
Saturday, every Saturday morning it starts.
I got you.
And you're saying that was a comment from me, that's what it was from the meeting last year, when that was
It
stated.
was on your Facebook thing.
Well, yeah, but that's what was stated at the meeting last year.
Well,
that
it's
the
just-
generator needed to be
It
stopped.
was just done here about 2 months ago or something, 2 months ago.
All right, and there's been no post for,
It never that it needed spun, it was never hooked up backwards, never needed spun. That was just a comment that was made that it was, when it came from the factory, it wasn't set up the way our schematics were. When you buy something, you get schematics for it, you set your concrete slab up for that. The exhaust was not where it was supposed to be in the schematics. It was right where the gas line was going in, so we had to redo the gas line, and they had to come back and redo the buffer and stuff to get it away from the gas.
well, and that was a simple miscommunication last year, then
Yep.
apparently.
That's about 2 years ago.
And when you say it needs to be spun, are you talking about the whole unit that's sitting
Yes.
on the concrete?
Well, he was
Needs to
saying
be
about-
spun around?
Yeah, he was saying about the exhaust being supposed to flow toward the propane tanks, but like you just said, it was a year later or a year.
Aren't the propane tanks, are they in the ground? Where are they?
Oh, okay.
But you couldn't spin it because all your electric was where it was supposed to be. And that
I just want to understand.
all that stuff's up inside the generator.
I don't want to hold you.
No, it's
I just
fine.
want to understand what.
It would take a lot to set off those LP
Yeah.
tanks with anything.
That's been running for 2 years. Like I said, it starts up every Saturday.
And what time did 9 o'clock?
I think it's 9 o'clock. So
Okay.
it runs for a half hour,
Thank you.
40 minutes.
And the only other question I have, the Water Street underpass, has FEMA, when they came in and looked at that after Ida, what was their comments, what was their suggestions, and was it an engineer that came in and looked at
Oh,
that?
yeah, they had 7, 8, 9 people with it, every time.
What was their written review on that?
I don't know.
And they haven't provided any report
Well,
on
I'm
it.
sure they did. That was Brian Conchly, Bob Charles, Ellen Carter. None of them are here, I don't know what they did with all that paperwork.
And even since then, though, I mean, is that something we can go back to FEMA and request?
For, what do you want to
To
request?
see their review of the Water Street underpass?
It's all right in the job names, they want that, concrete wall on the east side, which you see, if you look down over the wall, you'll see it down there.
Concrete wall, did they specify how high that wall was supposed to be?
No, just to stop the water from going in under there, the blacktop. You ain't just stop the water from going to the top. The river backing up will always be there. You can put a seawall that's gonna be there. There's nothing you can do to stop it, because it goes back up in. It goes right up alongside between the blacktop and the bridge. But head pressure is very strong. That's dead water backing up from the river.
Yeah, no, I understand that, I get that, but it's dead water that's backing up from the river that's coming up over the wall.
Right.
Dead water, if you did put something in there,
Yeah.
barrier to alleviate that, it shouldn't come up, right?
Right, coming on the backside.
Well, that side's a lot higher than the other side.
Yeah, but not a whole bunch of stuff there, that 12, 13 feet, it's in under the bridge.
All I'm saying is, it's coming in on the low side.
All the engineering there was to stop it from coming in and lifting the blacktop up and taking it away.
That's
So
gonna happen.
it was caved, it was caved in under,
Well, it's gonna happen again, I guess I should say.
no.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, any further discussion on the mayor's report?
I have a question. I would like to know why the mayor brought up the subject. You wanna come up here?
Public comment period. carried, it is passed. Need a motion to accept the mayor's report?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. ELHMP report and water company report.
Is the outstanding balance getting any better?
Oh, let it go for a month and then go back again. Everybody's getting their income tax back now, so it's getting better.
It just like seems a little longer than it was last one.
Oh, no, it's only one page. There were 2 pages last month. And we had record deposit this month. But come June, it'll be back the same way it was. That's just the way things work, nothing will change.
All right, is there any discussion on the ELHMP report or water company report?
With the refuse,
Yes.
with the price increase, oh, this is the amount collected.
Yes.
Okay, and the grand total that we have in the funds for that is $73,479.40. Is that to the good? Is that,
No, that's not in refuge, that's what you're.
what, see, I wanna understand this.
Yeah. That's, okay, you got the electric, that went out. It's off. Sales tax for 2 offices, for 2 businesses, okay, then you got the refuge income. Okay, then you got the outstanding electric that people owe, $25,755.
Okay, with that $5 increase.
That's outstanding electric.
Really?
Outstanding refuge is.
Wait, I'm talking about refuse. You increased the refuse to $5. You
Yes.
increased it $5.
Yes.
Where is this in here with that $5? How much we have
Oh, that
in
doesn't,
that?
it's in the general fund. That's never gonna track up.
Well, how can we keep track of that if it's in the general fund?
That's where it goes, there is no separate.
Is that money being spent on anything else other?
No.
Okay.
Unless you can get this, outstanding now.
Okay.
If you got outstanding down, then you can say that, yes.
So, when I read it, I'm
Outstanding.
gonna know where our taxpayer dollars are
Yeah, the
going.
outstanding fund was $4,000.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
That's
I
right.
think what he's asking with the $5 increase, it's only $29 and some change per unit for the borough. It says not even $30.
No, it's $31 or something for the borough. We don't make anything off of refuge. We're making time off of refuge.
Well, that's why I asked for the Republic letter, because
You only ever ask for that on your thing for wanting it. That's the only time that you ever asked for a letter, because there is no letter. I would have told you that right at the beginning, if you asked for a letter, there is none.
one of the
It's
contracts,
contractual.
how much it went up.
There's a contract up there, someone in, shut it, I'll go over with you. You're never gonna be able to read it on your own. I can't, that's why the lawyers take care of it.
I can get you a copy of it, I got it right here.
All right, I need a motion to accept the ELHMP report.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion to accept the water company report.
I'll make a motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Engineer's report. All right. Any discussion for the engineer report? Need a motion to accept the engineer's report?
Make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Solicitor's report.
We're approaching the deadline for statements of financial interest. If you haven't already gotten those in, either the must get them in within the next 2 weeks, so that we can get them filed. So if you know that you haven't turned yours in yet, turn it in within the next 2 weeks, that way we can get them filed.
I will get over to ex-members.
A motion for the solicitor's report?
May I ask the solicitor a question, please? Why is it in the best interest of the borough when a person exercises their right to the Freedom of Information Act? Why is it in the best interest of the borough for you to review that?
Well, depending on what is requested, there are 27 or so, now don't quote me on that, but a number of what are called exceptions under the right to know law that are not public records. So, easy things would be social security numbers, personal banking information, etc. Other things would be security information. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things, records identifying minors. Most right to know requests that are requesting something simple are easy to respond to, okay? However, when you get requests for voluminous documents, those documents that are otherwise responsive to those right to know requests have to be reviewed to make sure that they don't actually contain material that should be redacted, things that fall within those exceptions. Now, there are two very, very different, anytime a right to know request comes in, there are two very, very different processes. When a right to know request initially comes in, and the documents are compiled and the right to know request is responded to, that in and of itself doesn't take a whole lot of time. The actual time comes into play when right to know responses are appealed to the Office of Open Records. Under the Office of Open Records procedure, we now have to file a brief in support of whatever our response was, to the extent that we asserted any of the exceptions under the right to know law, why they're applicable. And then the Office of Open Records issues what's called a final determination. In particular, where there is a response period that may fall, you know, if you take a 30-day extension, and our response comes on day 31 or day 32, when that appeal is filed, and we hand the documents over, and the requester nonetheless doesn't drop the appeal, and then we have to file a brief saying what we did and why, that of course costs money. So to answer your question, on the front end, where these right to know requests are initially come in, if they're clear, and then we know exactly what we're looking for, those are not expensive. The expense comes in particular, when appeals are filed that we have to then respond.
Is there any way possible, if I could request from your firm the exact price you have charged for each request of the Freedom of Information Act? I just want to put it out there, how much it's costing the taxpayers for this. If, I don't know if legally you can do that.
Yeah,
If you could do that, I know that's gonna take time, that's gonna cost us money too. But
yeah,
I wanna put it out there, what our tax dollars are being spent on.
yeah, it's our hourly rate. Okay, so every item is in a ledger, so to speak. So it'll say what was spent doing what time. I believe my hourly rate's like 115 an hour, 120 an hour.
115,
115 or 125.
Can I request that, so maybe next month, I can put it out there, what our tax monies are going to, as far as people exercising their right, it is their right to request freedom of information. But I'd like, if that's possible.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
The rest of the board agree to it?
Pardon?
I just asked the rest of the board agree to spending that money.
For me, it's gonna cost us money for
Okay,
them
so
to do that.
all I'm gonna do is pull the billing for the past months and then just sort it. Okay, good stuff. It's not.
Okay, I just thought we needed everybody okay. Sorry, Bill, I didn't mean to.
I completely, hey, that's spending the taxpayer, I did ask that, would that cost the taxpayer monies for us, for you to get that to me?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you, sir.
All right, motion to accept, the solicitor's report.
Thank you.
Second,
Second.
all's in favor?
Aye.
All's opposed? All right, buildings and grounds.
Yard sale is gonna be on the 28th of June. I'll have those signs out once I take these street sweeping signs down. And everybody be vigilant about them being out there. Tell your neighbors, everybody to get the cars off the street for those 2 days. Trash cans, day after trash, next Tuesday and Wednesday. I appreciate it very much. Then the baseball field. You guys better let me know what's going on. What are we doing? Are we continuing the way it is? Are we,
All right, so do we need a motion?
I would think so, correct?
If I can just interject, last month's meeting, one of the things that I mentioned was, because everybody is on the understanding that there was some sort of lease arrangement in
There's nothing
place,
anywhere.
but nobody has a writing to that effect.
What,
What I had suggested was that the Goldsboro Athletic Association reach out with whatever they were proposing, or whatever they were requesting the borough to provide in terms of any sort of services or whatever it would be with respect to the ball field. So my suggestion is still, because if this is gonna be a shared project between Newberry Township, Redland Baseball, whoever the players are in it, we need some sort of proposal to actually put
It'd be
in,
Redland baseball.
to put in front of the borough council to make a decision on whether they wanna accept it or not.
Yeah, it'd be Redland baseball and the athletic association, we got that restarted, so it would be the athletic association and Redland baseball.
But you know,
Over would just step back and
Yeah.
they would give up ownership.
We put the agreement in place with Redland already, everything's been advertised in the York Daily Record like it's supposed to be. Yeah, it is in Newberry Township, I haven't been to the Newberry meeting, I'm talking to them a couple places, we did have some issues with people driving over into the sewer property, which they did not want. I had one of the residents call me, complaining about the car, we do the yard that people left. And I mean, that's something I have to work out with them, but Goldsboro does not have to put the money out to mow, the mowing's taken care of. The field is gonna be for everybody. He made the comment at the last meeting or a few meetings ago that, you know, the residents don't get to use it because of Redland. Well, it was built for Redland, I mean, it was built for the baseball. And we are gonna add other things in there, amongst opening the other behind the playground, different things, but it is for everybody.
You know why the other diamond was closed on you?
What's that?
You know why the other diamond way was closed on you? People getting hit with balls. That's why it was closed.
Well, we
Well,
don't
what's
have
closed?
that issue with the Little League.
There's a little T-ball field
Okay.
Down in the
at the
bottom.
back end of where the baseball field is. They're down there doing T-ball and the bigger kids are hitting home runs beyond and bam out there hitting people. And
Okay,
people
so
get
if
hurt.
I wanted to get some children together in the borough and have a little softball game, I would just be able to go down there and play?
No.
Well, that's where that's good, because we have churches asking, because they want to play softball and pond. Redland is, primary field is the top field, it will always be their field.
So,
The bottom field will be open for T-ball, church softball, residents that
Okay.
come down, whatever.
so we would not have to contact Redland for
No,
the schedule, where the schedules for these fields gonna be posted, so we know, or the citizens know.
Well, it'll be on the Goldsboro Athletic Association, it'll be on the group,
Who's
it'll be on the
spearheading the
website.
athletic association, who's assigned to that?
I'm the vice president of it, and two other residents of Goldsboro are on the board of directors.
So there isn't anybody actually on council that's assigned that position?
No, nobody on council.
Okay.
So, in the backfield there, while Redland is playing on the front field, are they gonna get hit by balls? Cause that's why.
Not
that was
really, because
closed.
I had that discussion with Matt and DJ, a couple of them even over the weekend. Once in a while, you might get one of the bigger kids, might swap one over there, but for the Little League baseball, that field is 200 feet to the fence. The other field is actually 200 feet from the, or 250 feet from the fence to the other plate. So the T-ball kids are gonna be in a lot closer. They're not gonna be out like the other kids farther out of the field.
Well, what if it's a church softball league?
Well, they probably won't be playing when Redlands play. And they use what they call a non-fly softball, whatever that is. I guess you can't really slug home runs. They call it a non-fly softball. Yeah. To me, I don't know what that is. I was thinking it was a wiffle ball. I don't know. But, I mean, we're game. And like I said, the park will be used for everybody. It'll be very North Haven.
Is the association gonna cover the insurance?
Yes. Redland has their own insurance. Their
Liability and everything else.
Right. And then the association also has for the association. So everything's put in place.
So you, Mr. Crowe, you will keep us updated on everything on that, would you please?
Yeah, you go and go for athletic association.
That's right.
If you got a question, ask.
When your meetings?
Thank you.
Alright, garage door?
Well, let's stay on the field, but are we going to, what are we going to do? Some of us that drive vehicles, don't need us. So,
There's nothing we have to do.
I don't think there's anything we have to do right now. If there's a proposal that comes from the association to
I
come
need to
in.
know what to do with electric bill.
Well,
So there's something that has to be done with it.
okay,
Okay?
well,
So now I need to know, are you guys keeping it, or are you gonna step out of it?
What garage would you?
Now, what about the garage door? Let's get back to the ball field.
Back to what?
Back to
Ball
the ball
field.
field. We're on the ball field.
Okay.
We keeping it as the borough, or are we demolishing it as the borough?
are you talking
I
about?
need to
Well,
know.
Mr. Crowe stated it's being covered.
I need to know what you're doing. We have an electric bill.
I'm
I
sorry.
need to find a name and an address to put it into. So you guys have to say, we're not keeping it. I can find out who the address, who it goes to, or you can say, yes, we're keeping it, and go work to keep on paying.
Why does Goldsboro supply the electric for the city of Berry Township?
Because that goes to us. That's what it has been for the change of time. If you would ask questions,
Then I'll be with you and I'll address that issue if that's.
instead of shake your head, goofball. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Alright,
It's
moving
back on
on.
the rails, back on,
Are we gonna?
So I need a,
back on the
I
rails.
need a motion.
Can we have order? You're right.
Yeah, you're right. You're out of order.
Get back on the rails.
I need a motion on what to do with the electric bill, for the baseball field.
Are you
Let me throw in there, Red Mill, or Redland is paying the electric bill.
But we need it out of our name.
It's coming to the borough is the problem.
We don't need to be handled out yet. It can be gone. It needs to be gone.
Then I'm gonna make it gets put in your name.
Association?
Yes.
That's fine.
I need an address.
Need a second?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Now I need an address.
I'll get it to you, I'll have it right off. I can't think of it.
428 Shelley's Lane.
What is it?
428 Shelley's Lane. Your president's address. Karen Rockwell.
Yeah. Is it 428?
Yep.
That's 403 or something.
Alright, garage door?
What do you want to do with it?
The old one? Somebody want it?
Oh, someone take it, they'll sell it, gold thing. Or I heard a couple people say, let's put it up on the wall. I just need to know what to do with it.
Can we, if somebody is making us an offer,
It's a-
Okay, yeah.
Sell it.
I'll get her to put it on the.
Yep.
On the, chili cook-off there and sell it off.
Yep.
And everybody agree, good.
can I make a motion to sell? Or alternate or?
Second.
All in
Second.
favor? Opposed?
So,
Good idea, Rob.
Leash law for the borough.
yes, I've had some complaints about those.
We need to, I think we need to make sure that everybody is, at least on council, is familiar with the laws and not having their dogs off the leash when they're not on their own property,
Even on their own property, if it don't have a fence,
so without a fence.
it's still leash.
Yeah, so the borough has a leash law, it's been in existence since I would say 1991. But yeah, it's essentially what it is. If you're off the property in an uncontained environment, meaning not in a fenced-in backyard, the dog has or other domestic animal needs to be on a leash.
So if, say, a citizen makes a comment and says such and such had their dogs roaming, how do they address it? Do they call the mayor? Do they call the police?
I typically think that depending on how that comes in, how that report comes in, so if it's a neighbor that you know that tells you as a borough council member, I don't think there's anything wrong with going and reminding the person, hey, dog needs to be under the leash. If they call the office and Charlie picks up the phone and fields it, then, you know, maybe that's the route that's better to go. But the big thing is everybody should know that they have a dog, okay? And they're outside the confines of their home, okay? Not a fenced in area, they're out on the street, or out in the front yard, wherever it is. The dog needs to be under a leash, according to the leash ordinance that we have from 1991.
Is there a fine involved in this?
So, okay, so, the penalty portion is, a nuisance action brought by the borough, okay? And the fine, upon conviction of the nuisance, so it'd be like with the district justice, it'd be a fine of $100 to $1,000. It's that range. But then again, these are things that frankly, as long as everybody just kind of knows, hey, dog needs to be under a leash if they're outside your house, I don't think that any of the enforcement actions would ever need to be filed on it. It's a pretty simple, common thing that most everybody
But
does.
there's actually quite a bit of that, because
Yeah.
there's 2 Dobermans up there running around. My daughter actually hit one like 2 months ago, going out of town, up past Bishop's house there.
Yeah,
So-
the other day.
Down across the street.
This literally right now is the first that I'm hearing of any of these things come in. When those, if you have a name and address, okay, that person needs to be contacted, all right? And there's probably gonna be a letter sent under a borough council letterhead, borough letterhead, just letting them know, hey, the dogs need to be, tethered, leashed. And then if there's more running at large, then borough council can decide whether they wanna file an enforcement. Well, the dog catchers are generally, they'll come in if there's a dog literally at large running around, and they'll actually come pick up the dog and take the dog. If we know whose dog it is, generally, by the time we get the report, the dog's already back in the house.
Right.
Just, that's sort of how those things typically work, so.
Is there anything in that ordinance, because I read through it too, I didn't see anything in there about yard lines in a non-fenced area. Because I think that's how those 2 Dobermans got there.
So it defines to run at large as the presence of a dog or cat or other domestic other domestic pet in any place except upon the premises of the owner, unless such a dog, cat, or other domestic pet is on a leash and under control of a person physically able to control it, or under actual control of a person physically able to control it. So, yeah, there's nothing, to answer your question, there's nothing in this 1991 ordinance that deals with yard lines, but there is the under control of a person actually physically able to control it, language in there. So,
As long as they're in the presence of that dog at that time.
correct.
Because in the borough, a lot of people are taking the dogs out, putting them on the yard line that don't have a fenced-in yard,
And going inside,
and going inside.
well, then that would be, under that ordinance, that would be a dog at large.
Yeah, such as the big.
Really,
They're up there in Clayster at the, right down from the church.
Down here, the fire company, I've seen them.
okay.
I've seen citizens walking with lap dogs carrying them. They're not on the leash.
They're physically under the control of a person.
Okay.
I think, Yeah, I think what we were talking about was that they let the dogs outside without a fence and then they go back inside
They're
that.
definitely invading people's private property and people are getting crapped up.
Right. I understand.
They wanna do it, they have to have respect for watching them and clean their poop up. Some of them need some very, very little spots.
All right, anything for, emergency management?
That's what we want to do.
Finance,
No,
planning?
the city plans, all approved and everything, so. I have down there for it, yeah.
Recreation, we have,
Yes, children's also cook-off, at the corner of South Garage for now, so, and that's, it's June. I'll make sure, say more, as we go on,
sanitation and sewer,
Yes. We are, I don't know how we're gonna do it yet, but we'd like to check the house traps for the vents and the clean out covers. That's something we are going to do just to cut down on infiltration into the sewer system. I just haven't figured out how we do this yet, whether we're gonna pay somebody to go around and look at all of them, or if you guys have any suggestions on how to do it. Because it's the entire borough is what you gotta do.
all thing we do is labor book it.
That's all you can
That's
do.
what you do, yep, carry it. Walk it, walk everyone.
I did it about 15, 18 years ago,
No.
but I replaced all that was damaged, all the mushroom caps and the clean out covers.
They clean out the mushroom caps out in front of people's houses. Some people bury them.
In the front of you?
Yeah. Every house has them.
Yep, everybody has a house trap.
Every house has one, but a lot of people bury them.
Yeah, they want to have a chimney.
And if you do decide to hire somebody that you'll request bids, right? You'll put that out on bids?
I doubt it.
Yeah, that won't be that much. Probably did something like this, small.
alright.
That's again, that sort of, has nothing to do with us.
I don't want to walk around and do it anymore.
Streets and highways,
Is that it for the sewer? Is that it for the sewer?
Second.
Yeah, street sweeping, next Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll make sure all vehicles are off. The two potholes are all patched up on Clover and Shelley's and everything here in the river.
How about the one down by Butcher? That's Central.
But Woodford?
Yeah, Rick, what is it, there by Galen's old place. One, it sits on the right hand side if you're coming down the alley towards the river.
No, I don't travel down there.
Remember where that squirrel got hit on the line?
Yeah.
It's right there.
Oh, they're on the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all steep and curved. Yeah, that's all there, the curve now. They changed that. Used to be the borough had it,
Mhm.
and now the state came and took it back and said it was not responsible for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the car to go in there. That part along the
Yeah,
sidewalk.
yeah, there's a couple of them like that. Tree came down Fish Creek Avenue, there was a bunch of stuff wrote on the, Facebook and everything about the tree coming down on Fishing Creek. Well, it's 2 trees, I thought it was only one. And, you have to have 2 people when you're working on roads, or you gotta close them. So I called the construction guys that do all the work, stuff like that. They brought a backhoe, chainsaw, they cleaned it up.
So once that tree's on Goldsboro Road, that we're responsible for.
Right.
We're responsible to clean it up.
That's exactly right. And it's the property of the road.
I saw, well, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Goldsboro, PA breaking news, that there was a comment made that there were some volunteers that were willing to clean that up.
Then they should have got too far, got there.
Okay, Charlie, so we'll call it 24/7. If they were, say, hey, Charlie, Mr. Rich Creed, we got volunteers to clean this up, so you don't need to hire. Okay, what happens if one of them persons get hurt?
And the super.
Then they sue the borough. So it's best for the borough to bring in an insured person to clean that up instead of letting volunteers to clean that up.
Right, and the wood doesn't belong to the person that the tree fell off, it belongs to the borough at that time.
Yeah, we don't,
Right. If anybody
I
wants
didn't know
wood,
it fell.
what?
I didn't even know.
Well, I'm not saying you did, I just saw it on the
My
page,
camera
somebody,
didn't go off or nothing. I didn't
if
know.
anybody wants firewood, we put it up here along the railroad track.
somebody wrote on there
Anybody can go get it.
that you had, that there were volunteers willing to pick it up. Somebody, I'm not saying
I
you
saw
wrote it
No,
or,
I saw.
but I'm just questioning.
3,500 people on there.
Right, okay, well,
Yeah, I saw.
I'm not
it.
accusing you.
okay, let's move on.
How do we address as the borough the runoff from that property? I mean, we've addressed it the best we can with doing the ditches, so on and so forth. But it's,
Yes and no. Yes and no. We did, but if you come down close to his place, you'll see where there's other places now the water's breaking down over the bank. So there should be another box set in that FEMA missed,
okay.
okay? We should have set
But
that
this,
box.
so we're, as a borough, addressing a property owner's runoff.
Right.
Property owner is not being held responsible.
They're uphill, what do they care? We're downhill, we get the.
I understand.
That's the same.
But
way
is
the
there
person-
a way that the borough can say, listen, we're cleaning up your mess?
No, if we wanted to do a catch basin in her field with FEMA, that
Right.
was all involved in us, to catch this water and let it go down a straight gutter on the
Right.
road. She would not even hear it. I mean, you couldn't even talk to her. She walked away storming,
So we're back at square one again,
No,
because now we've got water coming down another spot, it has gone to path of least resistance, which is what
Right.
happens.
And it was a 4-inch rain. Sometimes
Yeah,
that happens.
And I agree, but we need to address that.
Yeah, it's
At the bottom.
It's runoff from the storms and stuff.
Well, I
It's-
understand, I'm trying to get ahead of people pissing and moaning about water on that road.
Right.
And where's the water coming from? The water's coming from the sky, it's hitting the road, it's hitting the property, it's going down the road. I mean, we've gotta stop, we gotta nip this in the bud.
But there was an easy solution in the beginning, because.
There's
now-
always an easy
Now,
solution.
for all the pipe that was buried there, now we're getting a ditch washed in on the other side. Because all the water's running down that side now.
That's what it's supposed to be.
That's
But
what
it's,
ditch is put there.
it's been a ditch put back, because now Emily's driveway is gonna get washed out. Because all the stone and everything is.
Snow is washed out too.
That's all.
Yes.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
what
not
we
even
drive.
mentioned the box it did with Mansburger, it runs off Corver Creek.
I saw no stone on Emily's driveway, I don't know.
They're just seeing that little FEMA thing that they wanted to fan out. That man, you guys seen it, he said his trash can right in the middle of it. No idea why. That water is supposed to go over there, fan out and go into the stream. That's what that's supposed to do. That's why that curb was put there.
Well, it's washing the trenches off.
Where the driveway goes up off of Mansburger is higher than the road coming down through. So you can't catch that. So the box needs, a box that needs put in before Emily's driveway. Emily's driveway, the water just pours off of it.
Yeah,
That's what you're seeing going down through there.
I got in my personal vehicle during this rain when it was pouring down there, and I drove up there to check this stuff out. I don't know if you got me on your camera or not. I went up there. The stuff coming off that field, the ditch is doing the job. I did not see anything coming across the street into the residents' yards up there by your yard. Where the water ran down through is where Emily's driveway is. I did not see any stones washing into that driveway. Over that driveway, it just went down around and down at the foot of the hill and ran off in that patch of grass into the street.
Right.
So I did not see Emily's
Emily's
driveway washing out.
Is what came down Emily's driveway.
Where'd that
And
water
there was
go?
a lot of rain coming down Emily's driveway.
Where'd that water go?
It went around Emily's driveway. If you're coming from the top of the hill from Ronson down, it ran down there, it ran around, and there must be a low spot at the street down below after you make the turn, and it ran into that grass, and I'm assuming it went into the
That's why the
street.
street, the new blacktop is
But
to make it do that.
So what's the storm drain down at the end?
That's whatever the water comes down the road.
Which is not.
But that's where all the water went.
It went off from the grass.
No, it went just, well, it did fall from the ground.
I didn't,
Before we redid everything, the water went down Mansburger,
Into the
through that storm well. No,
Yeah.
it sat down there and swirled because it clogged up every time something went down there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
it's
that's
a big
why
storm
we-
drain.
That's why we, instead of having to tear everything up under that sewer stuff and all that stuff, well, it was chosen to do it that way. Now, there's already two pipes that go directly into the street and are washing away.
Can that be taken out then?
That pipe,
Yeah, well,
no,
no, storm drain.
it's there, running, still works.
You just said it's clogged.
No, it's not full.
No, the old one used to clog.
It
I
doesn't
did-
clog it, it doesn't clog it, because I was going down there and unclogging it every time it stormed, just, you know, just because. It's fun to watch the water just rolling down.
Whoever's back.
but I can attest that there is a lot of water coming down Emily's driveway from up top. A lot of water coming down.
But to answer your question, Rob, after all that, no, there's not a whole lot we can do about it.
Okay,
Okay.
Go
so,
downhill from it, we gotta deal with it.
so then we need to at some point address it.
Again, I'll emphasize this as far as I can. FEMA, they did that all at $208,000. I did it, the whole thing. Everybody says it's wrong, I didn't do anything right, all that crap. So maybe I did, 'cause I did it all for right around 140-some thousand. So we got $60,000 to put a box in. I think we can afford it.
I think we can make
Okay.
this.
Well, it seems to be working for me what you did up top.
Yes.
I did not see any water coming across the road into the residents' yards. Now, if there was water laying in there, I'm just saying it's probably because we got 3.5, 4 inches of rain, we have a low spot. And it's gonna,
Yes, no,
I didn't see it running.
As
As
you
you,
guys are aware, there is.
What?
I had video every night in the rain.
I didn't, okay.
It runs right off at the corner of the fence, it runs down into Tim's yard, runs down into my daughter's yard,
Yes, that's where the new blacktop stops.
stops to the old one.
Right, to the, old yeah.
Yeah.
So now maybe we can afford to pay a little further.
Right.
That's the
Because
blacktop.
didn't,
Well, that's why they put that little berm across behind Tim's, to keep the water from going in there.
Now, there is no berm, now there's a blacktop road. So now it needs to be blacktop farther.
Right. And lead it the other way.
All right, thank you.
I hope that answers everything.
Yeah, that answered mine, thank you.
Alright,
Sorry.
general and electric utility and water companies. Nothing there.
No, nothing.
Zoning.
Claim property all approved and sold.
Need a motion to accept the committee reports?
Make a motion.
Second, all's in favor? Opposed?
Unfinished business was already addressed. Unless he wants any more.
Yeah.
Okay, unfinished business, the last one we'll call over, we've already addressed. New business discussion,
Yeah, I'll jump in on this.
I have it right here.
Yeah, so Goldsboro Athletic Association had an advertisement go out in the newspaper, is it like articles of incorporation, something like that within the last 2 weeks. For whatever reason, that bill from PA Media Group was sent to us for the advertising. So we have to make sure that anything that the Goldsboro Athletic Association is doing with respect to public ads, needs to be handled by the Goldsboro Athletic Association.
That's not possible, because we have a receipt for that.
Don't knock, right there, don't knock it out on me, buddy, right there, it was in black and white.
Did I
They
get that?
sent it to us, the invoice.
Yes. And if I wouldn't have been
And
realized that
so,
we didn't advertise it, we would have paid it, not realized.
so we have to make make sure that
By Ms. Karen Rockwell.
those aren't going to the borough, for payment moving forward.
Well, I don't know why that happened, and that somebody made a mistake somewhere.
My guess is because the borough is still associated with the ball field. Now, that's not gonna be the problem.
But penalized doesn't know that.
Well, whatever it is, we just gotta make sure we get that cleared up and cleaned up, so that we're not getting invoices for that.
They shouldn't be getting any invoices from us. I'll look into that.
All right. Treasurer's report, council should have a copy. Any discussion on the treasurer's report? If not, I need a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Make the motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, presentation of the bills, I need a motion to pay the bills.
Pay the bill.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Opposed?
Before you close the next meeting, you better, I'll give you a looser again today. The fees, I'm gonna put it on the agenda for next month for us to decide what those fees are, so I can advertise them and start charging for them.
What do we need to do?
The things you gave me about raising.
Right here, fees, nothing was overdue.
Fee schedule, just look over, see what you guys think, and then like I said, I will tell you what other townships and stuff are charging, you guys will go from there.
Do we wanna have a workshop on it?
We're gonna do workshop anyway, so.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up, we're gonna do the workshop for the handbook, and nobody said anything about that, right? So we're gonna put a workshop together for that, and we're gonna,
What can I add to that, the same workshop fees?
that will be when.
Wednesday before,
Wednesday before.
Thursday.
Anyone?
I doubtful I'll be here. I will double check and let you know.
It don't matter either way.
The Tuesday or the Wednesday before the.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out, I know the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'm out every week,
Okay.
so I'm away.
Do the
Wednesday before.
Wednesday before.
I'll do my best.
What time is it?
6.
6 to 1,
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
6 May. At what time, Ron? 6 at the Borough Building here, right?
Motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just a little bit look forward to it.
Won't be like, what, don't need to,
I have
what, I mean, you don't need to advertise.
That meeting.
Hey, Ron, did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Second.
Leave at 6 o'clock.
Meeting's on the 13th.
Meeting's on the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's the 8th of May, 8th, not 6th.
Yeah, no, at 6 o'clock.
8th of May at 6. A workshop, I love it.
My leg just cranked up. What? I said, my leg just cranked up.
Well, you're old.
Thank you.
Welcome to my world.
Thank you, sir.
Not bad at all.
But did you tell the president the job is to hand this up to the recording secretary?